Water contains A. 1 hydrogen atom and 1 oxygen atom. B. 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. C. 1 hydrogen atom and 2 oxygen atoms. D. 3 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. The correct answer is 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Unit hydrograph theory was enunciated by A. Merrill Bernard, B. W. W. Horner, C. Leroy K. Sherman, D. Robert E. Horton. The correct answer is Leroy K. Sherman. The theory of infiltration capacity was given by A. Merrill Bernard, B. W. W. Horner, C. Leroy K. Sherman, D. Robert E. Horton. The correct answer is Robert E. Horton. The surface runoff is the quantity of water A. absorbed by soil, B. intercepted by buildings and vegetative cover, C. required to fill surface depressions, D. that reaches the stream channels. The correct answer is that reaches the stream channels. Pick up the correct equation from the following. A. runoff is equal to surface runoff plus groundwater flow. B. runoff is equal to surface runoff, groundwater flow. C. runoff is equal to surface runoff groundwater flow. D. runoff is equal to surface runoff x groundwater flow. The correct answer is runoff is equal to surface runoff plus groundwater flow. The main factor which affects the infiltration capacity is A. thickness of saturated layer, B. depth of surface detention, C. soil moisture, D. all the above. The correct answer is all the above. According to Robert E. Horton, the equation of infiltration capacity curve is where letters carry their usual meanings. A. F is equal to FCFO, FCE B. F is equal to FT, FO, FCE, KT. C. F is equal to FT plus FO, FCE, KT. D. F is equal to F plus FO, FCE, KT. The correct answer is F is equal to FT plus FO, FCE, KT. Absolute humidity in air. A. decreases at higher altitudes. B. increases at higher altitudes. C. remains constant at all altitudes. D. none of these. The correct answer is decreases at higher altitudes. Precipitation caused by lifting of an air mass due to the pressure difference is called A. cyclonic precipitation, B. convective precipitation, C. orographic precipitation, D. none of these. The correct answer is cyclonic precipitation. The standard height of a standard rain gauge is A. 10 centimeters, B. 20 centimeters, C. 30 centimeters, D. 50 centimeters. The correct answer is 30 centimeters. In India, rainfall is generally recorded at A. 8 am, B. 12 noon, C. 4 pm, D. 8 pm. The correct answer is 8 am. A recording type rain gauge. A. produces a mass curve of rainfall. B. records the cumulative rain. C. is sometimes called integrating rain gauge or continuous rain gauge. D. all the above. The correct answer is all the above. In India, the recording type rain gauge generally used is A. weighing type, B. tipping type, C. float recording type, D. none of these. The correct answer is float recording type. The deficiency in rain catch due to vertical acceleration of air forced upward over the gauge is A. greater for heavy rain, B. greater for lighter rain, C. greater for large drops, D. lesser for small rain drops. The correct answer is greater for lighter rain. If a gauge is installed perpendicular to the slope, Its measurement is reduced by multiplying a sine of the angle of inclination with vertical, b cosine of the angle of inclination with vertical, c tangent of the angle of inclination with vertical, d calibration coefficient of the gauge. The correct answer is cosine of the angle of inclination with vertical. For determination of average annual precipitation in a catchment basin, the best method is a. Arithmetical method, b. Thiems mean method, c. Isohydraulic method, d. None of these. The correct answer is isohydraulic method. A hydraulic jump in a control meter will be formed above the control if its original a. Depth is more than critical depth, b. Depth is less than the critical depth, c. Depth is equal to critical depth, d. None of these. The correct answer is depth is less than the critical depth. Professor Running suggested the method for extending the discharge curve. It is known as a. Logarithmic method, b. Y method, c. General method, d. None of these. The correct answer is logarithmic method. The initial basin recharge is equal to a. Interception, b. depression storage, c. rain absorbed by the moisture deficiency, d. all the above. The correct answer is all the above. The run of a drainage basin is a. Initial recharge plus groundwater accretion plus precipitation, b. Precipitation plus groundwater accretion plus initial recharge, c. Precipitation, groundwater accretion plus initial recharge, d. Precipitation, groundwater accretion, initial recharge. The correct answer is precipitation, groundwater accretion, initial recharge. For computing the runoff volumes of large areas, number of infiltrations used are A2, B3, C4, D5. The correct answer is 2. If the potential infiltration of a watershed having a soil with fair pasture cover is 10 cm and rainfall is 12 cm, the direct runoff is A 2 cm, B 3 cm, C 5 cm, D 8 cm. The correct answer is 5 cm. The quantity of water retained by the subsoil against gravity is known A. Yield, B. Porosity, C. Specific yield, D. Specific retention. The correct answer is specific retention. Pick up the incorrect statement from the following. The rate of flow of water through a unit cross-sectional area under a unit hydraulic gradient is called coefficient of permeability. B. The rate of flow of water through a vertical strip of the aquifer of unit width and full depth under a unit hydraulic gradient is called coefficient of transmissibility. C. The flow of water through aquifers is governed by the Darcy's law. D. The term transmissibility was introduced by Mainzer. The correct answer is the term transmissibility was introduced by Mainzer. With the usual meanings of letters, the equation is used for determining the velocity of groundwater flow in meters per day. It is known as A. Mainzer's formula, B. Schlichter's formula, C. Darcy's formula, D. Hazen's formula. The correct answer is Schlichter's formula. Pick up the correct statement from the following. A. Purged aquifer is found in unconfined aquifer. B. The top surface of the water held in the purged aquifer is known as purged water table. C. Purged aquifer is formed in unfined aquifer if an impervious layer exists. D. All the above. The correct answer is all the above. In the derivation of Thiems formula, the following assumption is not applicable. The aquifer is homogeneous and isotropic. B. Flow lines are radial and horizontal. C. The slope of the water surface is too small. D. The well has been sunk up to the surface of the unconfined aquifer. The correct answer is the well has been sunk up to the surface of the unconfined aquifer. A well penetrates to 30 m below the static water table. After 24 hours of pumping at 31.40 liters minute, the water level in a test well at a distance of 80 m is lowered by 0.5 m and in a well 20 m away water is lowered by 1.0 m. The transmissibility of the aquifer is A. 1.185 m2 minute, B. 1.285 m2 minute, C. 1.385 m2 minute, D. 1.485 m2 minute. The correct answer is 1.385 m2 minute. Shrouding is provided in A. Cavity type tube wells, B. Slotted type tube wells, C. Strainer type tube wells, D. Perforated type tube wells. The correct answer is slotted type tube wells. The efficiency of a pump may be taken as A. 0.55, B. 0.60, C. 0.65, D. 0.70. The correct answer is 0.65. Consumptive use of a crop during growth is the amount of A. Interception, B. Transpiration, C. Evaporation, D. All the above. The correct answer is all the above. For calculating the evaporation rate over a reservoir surface, E is equal to 0.7711.465, 0.00732, B 0.44, 0.007375 VPE, PA. The equation is given by A. Roux's formula in MKS, B. Roux's formula in FPS, C. Dalton's formula in FPS, D. Dalton's formula in MKS. The correct answer is Roux's formula in MKS. For the estimate of high floods in fan-shaped catchment, the formula used is A. Dickens formula, B. Reeves formula, C. Inglis formula, D. None of these. The correct answer is Inglis formula. Burge formula cumecs is based upon A. Rainfall and drainage area, B. Runoff and drainage area, C. Drainage area and its shape, D. Drainage area. The correct answer is drainage area and its shape.